Heyo, so full disclosure, I am dealing with some rejection sensitivity today, and nothing's happened to bring that about. It's just feelings that are coming up. And I'm also struggling with self-trust today. And trusting my own intuition when it comes to my own life. So what a better day to do a shadow reading. If I don't laugh at myself, I'll cry, and I have no issue with crying. I think crying is a beautiful way to cleanse yourself, and to shift around that energy. But I have already cried this morning to AuDHD'r. And you guys don't need to see it too. Oh, sin. This is why healing is a lifelong process, because, you know, I don't know what has triggered this today. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Because I woke up feeling good, but these feelings have hit me, and I can't ignore that these feelings have stirred some stuff up in me. So, you know, and this is stuff I've been working on for a long time, but, you know, you have to go back and revisit and all the rest of it. So bottom of the deck energy is limiting beliefs. Hi. Ultimately, you become what you believe. About shifting mindsets and self-realization. I guess this is a message I need today. And maybe you do too. Because none of us are islands. Okay. Oh, letting you know I'm using obviously the Shadow Work Oracle and the Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot. Do I want to see what the bottom of the deck energy is? Queen of Swords. It me. So we've got limiting beliefs. We've got the Queen of Boundaries, the Queen of Cut Through the Bullshit, the Queen of can sometimes have a bit of a bitey mouth. Oh my. So let's get started. Let's see what treasure we can pull up today. And yes, I call it treasure, because the more of this stuff that you deal with, the more treasure you reveal about yourself. So wow, oofed. Mental contest. It's like I was saying to AuDHD'r, that those subconscious thoughts that can come and just bombard your head. It is a fucking mental battle. It is a mental battle. You know, really fighting the urge to just go full low vibe hermit mode. But yeah. Okay. Let's see what comes out. All right, we got a few. Self-sabotage. Hi. Welcome to one of my pastimes. Inner balance. Very important. And look, this just freaks me out because this is actually something I've been chatting with AuDHD'r about this morning. Soul mirrors. Resentment. I've spoken about that before. It rots the fucking box it comes in. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's probably not some resentments that I have about some things that I still need to kind of integrate and transmute. And I think some of those resentments I direct to me, right? And so guess I need to do a little bit more work on that self-forgiveness thing, hey? Like I said in the reading yesterday, for whoever watched it, can't go back. You can't go back and change things. You can't, and it sucks. You don't get that redo button. But, have the power to change how we move forward within things. So, resentment. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. Bottom of the deck after all of those fell out was emotional release. You know, I think a lot of my resentment through my traumas has come from resenting the people that should have believed me, that should have helped me and stood up for me, but yeah, believed me when I told them what was going on, that didn't believe me, that chose to protect abusers in my life instead of protecting me and my kids. Where do your resentments come from? Maybe that's something you can look at today. Oh, that's a lot of cards. That's another 7 cards. Jesus, we don't want that many. All right, we just want maybe one more, please. Ancestors and spirit and universe and the energies out there. But only if you've done your healing work, all right? We got 3. They fell all facing upwards, so let's... Well, those ones actually didn't. Okay, we got the Face Inner Demons card again. We got the Spiritual Awakening card. And we got the Deception. So let's just clarify this, right? Some of these shadow cards that have come out are going to represent stuff for you, right? Personal, interpersonal, like the stuff that you need to do the work on. Some of these shadows are going to be around people whose shadows have leached onto you, right? So I'm not out here saying that you're a deceptive bastard. I'm saying that maybe betrayal is a wound that you have. And my intuition is telling me these two are going together. So the resentment and the deception, because I think when we do have betrayal wounds, there can be a lot of resentment. One thing I've learned over the years is how other people treat me has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. How I treat other people has nothing to do with them and everything to do with me. I will never be the person that's out there telling someone to deal with their shadows while I sit on my ass and not deal with mine. I'm going to separate these cards into kind of shadow. I mean, technically they're all shadow work cards, but some of them are actual shadows, and then some of them are more about they're still shadow to a degree, but it's more about the healing side, right? Bottom of the deck is relentless craving. So I don't know what came out, the inner demons, the deception, and the spirit awakening came out with that at the bottom of the deck. I feel like we have like these physical 3D cravings about things, yearnings and whatnot. But I think also our soul yearns for things as well. And I think until we awaken spiritually, we don't know the difference. But yeah. All right. Let's get into tarot, because I think I've decided I'm going to pull one tarot card for each shadow card today, to see if it can pinpoint a roadmap forward. If I feel called to, I'm going to pull extra cards, but to start with, I'm going to do one card. I'm going to start over with the shadowy energy of resentment, deception, sabotage, and inner demons. And then I'm going to move over to the inner balance, soul mirrors, spirit awakening, because these are all lessons that help your soul grow. These are all shadows that hold your soul back from where it's supposed to be going in this life. And by holding your soul back, you're holding your 3D self back, and, you know, remembering Queen of Swords energy, so boundaries are going to probably be important. All right. So, healed ancestors, spirits, universal energy. Can we please get some cards, or a card for resentment? Well, as I said, resentment and split the deck. Queen of Cups showed up, which means there could be a little bit of resentment about... Resentment could be something that you've already been working through, in fact. I know it's something I've been working through. And when I said that the resentment is often directed towards me, my own stuff, that Queen of Cups energy is probably one of the places I hold the most resentment for myself, because as a trauma response, I have tied my worth to how much I can give to other people and deplete myself, right? That's not to say I'm not a giver. I am. That's part of my nature, but I need to have boundaries around it, right? And when you don't have boundaries around that kind of thing, you are going to develop resentment, which is going to, not turn out so great. Okay, what card? Okay, we're already giving us a card. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is an action card. So I guess I'm going to ask you, what actions that you do or people close to you do that generates that feeling of resentment in you? And be really honest with yourself about it. That Queen of Swords honesty. Remembering none of us are perfect, that we all have shadows that were in us before we were even conscious of them being there, right? Some of us have shadows from before we could even be old enough to form memories. Like memories up here. I'm not talking about emotional body memories, but because we do have emotional body memories from before then. Once you identify those things, especially the things within yourself that have you resenting who you are, take action. Fire energy helps us to integrate and transmute trauma. It's our passion. It's our drive. It's our determination. It's like water. It has ties to our intuition, but helping us to bring it out in a creative way. So creatively taking action around the things that you have found as you've investigated your internal world, that you personally can take action on. And if it's someone external to you that's creating these feelings of resentment in you, that's probably also about a wound of yours. But taking that action to put Queen of Swords boundaries in place to say, stop, that's not okay. And feel a sense of why can't I find the word? Just find that inner strength in order to be able to maintain those boundaries so that you don't find yourself in a position where you're allowing other people's shit to invade your internal world and question your own worth, your own importance, all of those kinds of things. Self-sabotage. What card do you have for me for self-sabotage? Eights, back to the Eight of Wands. Eights are also a kind of a karmic balancing number. So I'm really getting take action on the lessons learned from your little internal field trip. All right, 2 cards came out for that one. All right, for self-sabotage, the 2 cards that came out are the Queen of Swords and the Four of Wands. So for some of you, and when I say some of you, I include I include me in this. Maybe self-sabotage happens when it comes to something that you might look at committing to long term. Whether it be a degree at university, a relationship, buying a house, your financial security into the future, those kinds of things. Queen of Swords is saying have boundaries around your dreams, your wants, so that those subconscious thoughts that invade our procrastination, which is a trauma response to sit and procrastinate, our fear of failure, because how many of us were raised needing to be perfect versions of ourselves to be beneficial to the adults that should never have been expecting perfectionism from children. But really, like self-sabotage can come in lots of ways. So it's about having strong boundaries, a strong sense of self-worth, a strong sense of knowing you're deserving, and really doing that solar plexus work of building confidence, the I am type affirmations. I mean, you can see the cats are having so much fun here. They're like being all cute and stuff, playing with balls of yarn and knitting needles, and you know, this could be you if you stop self-sabotaging. Next card. But yeah, it's not lost on me that the Four of Wands has come out with self-sabotage. It's not lost on me. I'm nearly 11 years single. After my last commitment, I'm not sure about commitment, right? You know, and those thoughts that come in of, you know, are you even capable of this anyway, you know? Okay, I wasn't even thinking about a card, which card I was focusing on then, so I'm a bit confused. Hang on. And they flipped over. All right, so what about one for deception? We got one for deception. The Strength card. So I think, like, when we talk deception as in betrayal, and if that's a wound that you have from being betrayed consistently throughout your life, or you've had, you know, some pretty significant betrayals. Again, the Strength card being number 8. It's about finding that inner strength within yourself that says to you, you never deserved that. There's not something wrong with you that people did those horrible things to you. This is not your shadow to even carry. And look, the betrayal wound is a big one for me. I'm the parent of a child who was sexually abused by my partner, and I was sexually abused by my partner. And there's so many layers of betrayal within just that scenario. It has been a really complex thing for me to be able to work through, and I'm still working through it. To the point where I had like put up that Queen of Swords, and a big reason why I haven't had a partner in so long is because I haven't had the faith in myself to be able to trust myself to have a partner that would not then go and do this to any grandchildren that I have. You know, it's that whole Indigenous thinking, like generations ahead. And so I am like really particular about who I let into my close circle, because of the horrors that my kids and I have lived. And it's taken a huge amount of strength to push through, to stop blaming myself. You know, logically, I know that my ex was the problem. But I also know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, well, how didn't you know he was doing that to your kid? Like, maybe you were just letting him, you know, like, this is some of the stuff I've heard over the years. So, that in itself is a betrayal of people who should have supported me and not assumed that I was a co-conspirator in the abuse of my kid. Finding that inner strength. And I'm one of those people that really hates being told how strong I am, how resilient I am, like I've had any fucking choice in my life. But the strength card always reminds me that it's about our inner strength. It's about us wrangling those shadows within so that they aren't controlling our life anymore, so that they're not what we're thinking about every time we make a decision, so that we're not trapped in that place in the past, you know. I mean, in this we see the cat with their paw over the wolf's snout. Above them we see a butterfly, and butterflies represent like new beginnings, and it's about taming the beast, you know. And yes, the shadow is a beast. But when it comes to betrayal type stuff, it's about reminding yourself over and over and over again, you did not deserve that, you did not deserve that, you did not deserve that. And no spiritual person is going to tell me that I had a lesson to fucking learn in that. There might be lessons I learned in that, but don't tell me that that was the whole purpose of it, because I don't know. Okay. We'll get one for face inner demons, and then we'll move over to the more lessony, learny stuff. So face inner demons. I mean, this is a pretty simple message. Take that fiery passion and beat the crap out of those inner demons. No. Create it, like, again, fire is very creative energy. It's how we transmute the lessons, the wounding, the shadows, so that they become something more positive in our life rather than constantly holding us back. And the Ace of Wands is like, this is a chance. You let go of this stuff, it's like a chance for a new beginning, but you're going to need to transmute. It's about, I guess, it's almost like strength should have come out with face inner demons. Like, you know, they're facing each other. But you can see in this one, there's like a little path, and the cat's like, you know, you can follow that path, a new path. You can look at these inner demons in a different way. Hey, you helped me at some point in my life. You protected me. But we need to sit down and have a little chat. Because while I am really grateful that you protected me when I needed you to, you kind of fucking shit up for me now, you know? So Do I want to pull a different deck for the other side? Perhaps I will. Perhaps I'll use my light workers, light seers. Shadow work is one of those things, right? And how we respond and react to things really tells us a lot about our shadows and what they need from us. Just split the deck and got Death to Rebirth, which I think is really nice energy for the lessons and healing side of the reading. Because it's giving a funeral to those shadows. They have a little memorial within you, but they don't have to have such an active part in your daily life, you know, after a while. And that can seem like a fucking far-fetched thing when you're at the beginning of your healing journey. It can honestly feel like I'm going to be broken like this forever. I mean, I barely left my house for fucking years and years. The only time I left my house was to walk down to pick my kids up from school, or buy groceries for us, or go to my doctor to get my meds, or go to see my psychologist. That was the extent of my interaction with the outside world. I did do like a lot of online. I was online quite a bit. Felt like the safest way for me to be able to interact with humans, which is a bit weird being that I was on Twitter. But, you know your life has been a bit fucked up when Twitter's a safe space for you. So like, and I guess the thing about me is, right, like I know I've been through some shit in my life, but I don't ever want anyone to look at me and go like, but you've been through so much and look how you handle it. And I haven't been through half of that. And, you know, how do I be a support to you? And I'm like, well, I don't really need you to be, because I've had to be a support to myself for my whole fucking life. So I know how to support myself. What I need to learn how to do is accept support from other people at an intimate level, right? But I'm working on it. But also, when I do ask people, hey, can you show up for me? That's a really scary thing to do, you know, especially when you're so used to showing up for yourself. Don't let people that don't show up for you how you need them to ever make you feel like you were never worth the effort, right? Because like I said earlier, that kind of stuff, as much as people might want to deflect and say it was because of you, is absolutely not about you, all right? All right, so let us get a card for inner balance. Whatever kind of advice you think is needed, Spirit. Whoa, throwing shit. The Four of Swords. Four of Swords represents, well, you can see, she's in a nest, having a rest, you know. Maybe in order to find some inner balance at the moment, we need to give ourselves permission to rest as resistance, you know. Rest might be something that you're resisting. It might be something that you resist, and this card is saying you resist, it will persist. Give yourself the time and space you need to rest, recuperate, recover, instead of trying to push through and keeping that imbalance happening. Soul mirrors. What can you tell me about soul mirrors? That one landed face down, so I'm not going to take it. Soul mirrors. Okay. So when I talked about over here with if there's something somebody is doing that is triggering you, stirring your shadows, how that they're often reflecting to you healing that you need to do, right? Temperance is saying not just that you need to find balance in how you perceive your wounds when they come up, but it's also saying to have some patience, not just with you, but with other people. That this is a lesson I've had to learn, is that intentionality, of course, intention matters. If people intend to hurt you, that's pretty fucked up. If people don't intend to hurt you but hurt you, it still hurt you, right? So regardless of the intention, there needs to be an acknowledgement of sorts that, yeah, like, I never intended to hurt you, but I did. And I'm really sorry that I did that, because that's the last thing I wanted to do. I mean, if that's what you actually believe and feel. Temperance reminds us that when it comes to soul mirrors, there's like divine influence going on as well, and to remember that, and again, have patience when those wounds come up. Have patience when someone reflects back to you healing that you need to do, and find balance in the way you think about it. I think sometimes we can go so far one way, thinking, well, you did hurt me, so you intended to hurt me. Well, no. I think we've seen, like, with what's going on in the world with Israel, that there's people that will intentionally hurt, but most of us don't actually set out to hurt other people. But when we're operating from a place of our wounding, we are going to be using maladaptive coping mechanisms to move through life, right? And those are going to cause other people harm. So having patience with yourself when those things are reflected back to you. Don't judge yourself. Don't add it to the pile of shame. Don't start kicking in this resentment with the other person or yourself. But acknowledge that those wounds are there. Have a little squeeze at them. And nurture them in the way that they needed to be nurtured, because a lot of these wounds have been existing since we were children. And we shouldn't have had to have nurtured these wounds or create them. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Show grace. All right, now let's get a Spirit Awakening card. You know, so many of us have consciously refused to look at our shadows without even realizing that our shadows are already living out through us, you know. Spirit Awakening. So when you sit with your shadows, it can feel a little bit like this, like, fuck. You can start to recognize all the things you regret that you've done. It can feel a little bit isolating. But this is a reminder that, you know, sitting with your shadows, it's the way to enlightenment, fulfillment, 10 of Pentacles type energy, where it's goals, really. You know, you've got all of your stuff, your emotional fulfillment, your material fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, the whole lot of it is peak awesome. But there will be, as your spirit awakens, there will be periods of deep reflection and kind of isolation and all those feelings about, oh, fuck, I can't believe I did that. Oh, fuck, what was I thinking? Fuck, how did I not know I was doing that? Oh, blah, 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 blah. It all happens, right? But it's also that you can believe that you are worth this, right? We are all worth this. All right. With the Hermit energy being on the bottom, I think Hermit and Four of Cups go nicely together, really. Any last messages for the collective? Page of Cups. This is my get ready for me to sing. Both feet off the ground, head up in the clouds, head up in the clouds. Move with love. Move with love. Move with a childlike spirit. Believe in magic. Believe that you're deserving of magic. And I don't know, I think this is a nice card to finish with, because the Page of Cups for me is like, in a reading like this, is like an inner child, love your inner child type card, and be that child that believes in magic, that, you know, can really throw themselves into the world of fantasy and dreaming and all of those things. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow, depending on how the energy is. But thank you for joining me today so I could transmute some of this like heavy energy that's hitting me. So thank you.